Hello, this is Pallavi Nandane. My topic is covalent bond, BSc second year. Contents: covalent bonding in carbon, their properties, types of covalent bond, polarization of covalent bond, and differences between covalent and ionic bond. Covalent bond. A covalent bond is formed by equal sharing of electrons from both the participating atoms. The pair of electrons participating in this type of bonding is called shared pair or bonding pair. The covalent bonds are also termed as molecular bonds. Sharing of bonding pairs will ensure that the atoms achieve stability in their outer shell, which is similar to the atoms of noble gases. What are covalent bonds? Elements having very high ionization energies are capable of transferring electrons, and elements having very low electron affinity cannot take up electrons. The atoms of such elements tends to share their electrons with the atoms of other elements or with other atoms of the same element in a way that the both atoms obtain octet configuration in their respective valence shell and thus achieve stability. Such association through sharing of electrons pairs among different or same kind is known as covalent bond. Covalent bonding can be achieved in two ways: sharing of electrons between atoms of the same. Example: formation of H2, Cl2, O2, etc. Sharing of electrons between different kinds of atoms. Example like formation CH4, H2O, NH3. Covalent bonding in carbon atom. As per the electronic configuration of the carbon, it needs to gain or lose 4 electrons to become stable, which is impossible as carbon cannot gain 4 electrons to become C4 negative because it will tough for 6 protons to hold 10 electrons, and so the atoms will become unstable. Carbon cannot lose 4 electrons to become C4 positive because it would require a large amount of energy to remove out 4 electrons, and also the C4 positive would have only 2 electrons held by proton, which will again become unstable. So the properties of covalent bond: if the normal valence of an atom is not satisfied by sharing a single electron pair between atoms, the atoms may share more than one electron pair between them. Some of the properties of covalent bonds are: covalent bonding does not result in the formation of new electrons, the bond only pairs them. They are very powerful chemical bonds that exist between atoms. A covalent bond normally contains the energy of about 80 kilocalories per mole. Covalent bonds rarely break spontaneously after it is formed. Covalent bonds are directional where the atoms that are bonded showcase specific orientation relative to one another. Most compounds having covalent bond exhibit relatively low melting points and boiling points. Compounds with covalent bonds usually have lower elapses or vaporization and fusion. Compounds formed by covalent bonding don't conduct electricity due to lack of free electrons. Covalent compounds are not soluble in water. Types of covalent bond. There are three types of covalent bonds: single covalent bond, double covalent bond, triple covalent bond. Single bonds. A single bond is formed by when only one pair of electrons is shared between two participating atoms. It is represented by one dash. Through this form of covalent bond has a smaller density and is weaker than a double or triple bond. It is most stable. The most commonly example is HCl has one hydrogen atom with one valence electron and one chlorine atom with 7 valence electron. In this case, a single bond is formed between hydrogen and chlorine by sharing one electron. Double bonds. A double bond is formed when two pairs of electrons are shared between the two participating atoms. It is represented by two dashes. Example: carbon dioxide molecules has one carbon atom with 6 valence electrons and two oxygen atoms with 4 valence electrons. To complete its octet, carbon shares two of its valence electrons with one oxygen atom and two with another oxygen atom. Each oxygen atom shares its two electrons with carbon, and therefore there are two double bonds in CO2. Triple bond. A triple bond is formed when three pairs of electrons are shared between the two participating atoms. Triple covalent bonds represented by three dashes. For example, in the formation of nitrogen molecule, each nitrogen atoms have 5 valence electron provides 3 electrons to form 3 electrons pairs of sharing. Thus the triple bond is formed between the two nitrogen atoms. Polar covalent bond. This type of covalent bond exists where the unequal sharing of electrons occur due to the differences in the electronegativity of combining atoms. More electronegative atom will have a stronger pull or electrons. The electronegative difference between the atoms is greater than 0 and less than 2.0. As a result, the shared pair of electrons will be closer to the atom. Example: molecules forming hydrogen bonding as a result of an unbalanced electrostatic potential. In this case, the hydrogen atom interacts with electronegative fluorine, hydrogen, or oxygen. Non-covalent bond. In this type of covalent bond is formed whenever there is an equal share of electrons between atoms. The electronegative differences between two atoms is 0. It occurs wherever the combining atoms have similar electron affinity. Example: non-polar covalent bond is found in gas molecules like hydrogen gas, nitrogen gas. Polarization of covalent bonds. It is observed that in the sigma bonds between two different atoms, the electron cloud is always closer to the more electronegative of the two atoms participating in the sigma bonds. Due to this, there is a permanent dipole that arises in the bond, and the covalent bond is said to be polarized. Differences between covalent and ionic bonds. Covalent bonds and ionic bonds are types of atomic bonds. These bonds are different in the properties structure. The covalent bond includes pair of electrons by two atoms, finding them in a fixed orientation. Ionic bond versus covalent bond. A covalent bond is formed between two similar electronegative nonmetals. This type of ionic bonds. This type of bonds is formed between a metal and non-metal. Covalent bonds. Bonds formed from covalent bonding have a definite shape. Ionic bond. Ionic bonds have no definite shape. Covalent bond. Low melting point and boiling point. Ionic bond. High melting point and high boiling point. Covalent bond. Low polarity and more flammable. Ionic bond. High polarity and less flammable. Covalent bond. Covalent bonds are in liquid or gaseous state at room temperature. Ionic bonds at room temperature. Ionic bonds have solid state. Example of Covalent bonds, methane, hydrochloric acid. Ionic bonds, example, sodium chloride, sulfuric acid. Thank you.